Hi, welcome to FAM 352. This is Adolescent Development. I just want to introduce myself and do a quick overview of the class in this video. My name is Samantha Anderson. The best way to contact me is through email because I do not have an office on campus. So unfortunately, we won't be able to meet face-to-face together. I live out of state, so it's not possible for me to meet with you on campus. But we can talk on the phone. You can set up an appointment if you would like to Skype or something like that. But the best way to get a hold of me is through email because I check my email all the time. I will definitely answer back quickly. Just make sure you make a note of the spelling of my last name. It's S-E-N, not S-O-N. So sometimes in the past, people have spelled the email address wrong and then the email doesn't get to me. So just make sure to type it in correctly if that's how you're doing it. But if you do it through Canvas, then it should just come to me automatically. So next is a little bit about online learning in general. I did my master's degree online, so I definitely understand what it's like being a student in an online class. There's definitely a lot of benefits, like being able to be flexible with your schedule and do your school work at home and things like that are great. The drawbacks would just be, like I said, not being able to meet in person. It sometimes sort of gets put on the back burner because you're not coming to class on a regular basis. So some people tend to kind of forget about it or it just doesn't seem like as much of a priority. So that's definitely one of the drawbacks. So student responsibility is really, really important in an online class because we're not meeting together regularly. So I can't explain things in person as much as I would be able to if we were in a face-to-face class. A lot of it is you guys having to do the reading and studying the materials on your own, and then just letting me know if you have any questions. So communication is really important, and you guys staying on schedule and being responsible is also very important. There's going to be a lot of reading in this class, so be prepared for just the same amount of coursework that you would do in a normal class, and then we do have assignments every week on a regular schedule. So some of the expectations would be to stay on that schedule that's listed in the course. There's regular due dates. Just because it's online doesn't mean you can do things whenever you want to. The quizzes are only open for a certain amount of days. There's deadlines to follow, things like that. When we are having discussions, we will be having discussion boards in this class, so I just ask everybody to please be respectful. Again, like if you wouldn't say it in person to somebody's face, then don't say it on the discussion board. Same idea as if you're in a face-to-face class, just respecting other people's opinions. The late work policy for our whole department should be the same in every family studies class that you take. Late work is only accepted for an emergency. So if you have just like a minor illness or you just forgot about something or you're going on vacation, something like that, late work is not going to be accepted in those cases. The only time that I would is if it's something completely out of your control, unforeseen, unavoidable, emergency type of situation. When that happens, you need to get an approved absence from the Office of Student Affairs, and you have 7 days from the time of the due date to let me know what's going on and then get your excused absence, which then they will send me the information that they verify. And that's the only way to turn in an assignment late. So again, just try to get your assignments turned in on time every time. I know that life happens sometimes. I do understand that. I've been a student in your shoes before, so I definitely understand that. But just those little day-to-day things like I had to work late or something like that is not going to be a reason to be able to turn something in late. For discussion boards, those are never accepted late just because it needs to be an interactive, the class all discussing things together at the same time. So you can't really come in a week after everyone's already finished and discuss anything because everybody's already moved on from that point. So the discussion board closes at the end of the week and you can't turn those in late, even if it is an emergency. Okay, moving on. If you're having technical difficulties, just let me know what's going on. So that's not going to be a reason that you can turn something in late. But at least if I know what's happening, that we can kind of be communicating about it and work something out. If you can't get it submitted, email it to me. That way I know you have it done, it's turned in, it's time stamped, that it's finished, and then you can keep trying to upload. Like if something's going wrong with the website, and you can't get it uploaded, but it is finished, just email it to me and let me know what's going on. If you're having Canvas issues or something technical on the technical side, I can't really help very much with that because that's not my expertise. So you would need to contact the support office for those types of issues. The two kind of tips I would give you as far as technical difficulties is to not wait until the last minute. That's a huge one because, if the due date is 5 minutes away, time's ticking down, and all of a sudden your computer crashes, then a technical difficulty has just turned into a 0 on an assignment. Whereas if you had done that the day before it was due, then you've got plenty of time to try to work things out and get it resubmitted. The other thing is to back up your work. So if you've been working on this assignment for weeks and you put in all this time and then something happens and you lose all your work, that's extremely frustrating. There are lots of easy ways to back up your work. You just have to remember to do it. So my advice is to always back up your work. There you can. If you save it onto your Google Drive or something like that, then you can access it from other computers. You can save it onto a flash drive. You can email it to yourself. I mean, there's lots of different ways to do it, whatever works best for you. But just try to make sure you always have that backup copy just in case something happens to your computer. So a class overview, a little different with this class than with some other classes you've probably taken, is that there is no physical textbook. There's not an actual book that you'll need to purchase, which is great news because then you don't have to spend money on a book. It's just a little different because it's a website that you'll be going to. So probably the same amount of reading, it's just all done online. Here's the address to that website, and it has different modules. There'll be articles, there'll be videos to watch. A lot of great information on this. Is like an online textbook, basically, is what you'll need. And there are some additional readings as well that will come up through the weeks of the class in each module. You'll have a syllabus quiz, you'll have discussion boards, you will have regular quizzes. There's an assignment called the Empirical Article Worksheet, a book review, a Build-A-Teen reflection, and then the final exam. So I will go into a little more detail about some of those assignments in the next couple of slides, but I wanted to reiterate this point that there is no extra credit available. So almost every semester I'll have students email me towards the end of the class and ask, is there any way I can get extra credit? What can I do to raise my grade? Unfortunately, the answer to that is going to be, I'm sorry, there's no extra credit and there's nothing you can do at this point to raise your grade. So the best way to do well in the class is just to be consistent and do your best work on time, every time, for every assignment throughout the whole semester. And, 1 0 on one assignment really can make a huge difference in your grade overall. So just be really careful about watching for due dates and keeping track of what's going on and just turning in your best work every time. I will not be offering any extra credit throughout the semester. So for the discussion board debates, I am going to provide some articles for you that have a topic that is controversial about adolescent development. So the class is going to be split into two opposing sides, and I'm going to assign you which side you're arguing for. So you don't get to decide. So even if it is completely opposite of what your personal opinion is on the topic, you have to argue for whichever side you are assigned to. And it can be kind of interesting to argue for the other side, maybe help you see the viewpoints of the opposing side. And it doesn't have to be something that you agree with, but you need to use the evidence that's in the articles. It's not really based on just your personal opinion or experiences. You can use those things, but you have to back up what you're saying with evidence from the articles that are posted. And always be sure to do a reference citation for the articles that you're using when you're writing your debate. And then you're going to be asking each other questions and responding, and it'll be just like having a debate in class conversation. The next one is the empirical article worksheets. There are 2 of them. Again, I will provide you the articles. So what you'll need to do is read the article, and then you summarize it by answering some questions that I'm asking in. You download the file, and it has all of the questions on there that you need. So you're basically just answering the questions about each article. So these are empirical articles, so it might be a little different from what you're used to reading. It's a very specific type of article that's found in a scholarly journal. They're kind of confusing when you first start reading them to understand what's going on. There's a lot of scientific words going on. So the purpose of this assignment is to really start to understand what an empirical article is and how you read it, and then what you can do with that information that you find in those articles. But I will provide those for you so you don't have to worry about finding the right type of article, but this is what we're looking for when we say we want an empirical article. So hopefully this will help you in future classes to be able to find the right types of articles. Next is a book review. So there is a list of approved books that you'll choose from, and you'll need to choose your book fairly early in the semester. You're going to make sure that that's the book you want to read, because you can't change it later. Once you have decided on a book and you have it, that needs to be the book that you use for the entire semester. So it's going to be an adolescent parenting type of book. So you can probably find them in the library or on Amazon or something like that. There's a wide variety of books, so you should be able to find at least one of them that you wouldn't have to pay for necessarily, unless you just want to buy your own copy. So you'll need to start reading early in the semester so that you have plenty of time to get through the book as well as all of your other course materials. About halfway through the semester, you're going to turn in an outline that is going to kind of say just the main points of each section that you need, and kind of what examples from the book you're going to be using, what examples from class you're going to be using. And then near the end of the semester, you will do your complete book review. So this assignment is kind of 3 different parts, but it's all one assignment. So you'll get grades on each section of it, but you'll be working on this throughout the entire semester. So just be careful about what book you choose and make sure that it's the one that you want to read. So you might want to kind of skim through a few books before you make your decision, just to make sure it's the book that you're happy with. And last, we have the Build a Teen Reflection. So for this assignment, you're going to be creating a fictional teenager. Please do not use a real person. You're going to make up their life story. You're going to decide, economic factors, their individual characteristics, what is their family like, who are their friends, things like where do they live, what grade are they in, what kind of activities are they interested in. And then you are going to have several different assignments throughout the rest of the semester that's going to analyze this teenager's life. We're going to be taking problem behaviors that we're studying throughout the class and then actually applying them to this person's life. So while they are fictional, this is really kind of helping us to understand how these real-world problems influence teenagers. So when you are creating your fictional character, just be sure to add a lot of detail and kind of things that you might be able to use later on when you are coming up with these fictional characters' problems and how to deal with those problems. So you'll create your character at the beginning of the semester, and then you'll be using that same character throughout the entire semester on these reflections. And more detail is on Canvas about all of these different assignments. We have lots of detailed instructions. So if you're confused about something, just hang on, and there'll be more explanations later. So I'm looking forward to this semester. I'm looking forward to getting to know each of you, and I hope we have a great class.